since the beginning of the euro, so I'm in charge since 12 years now for finance, so I'm here since the beginning of the introduction of the euro in coins and in banknotes, and we have started at the end of the 90s with that.
Right.
Since the beginning, we know that we have a problem. We have on one side a monetary policy with one central bank, the ECB, European Central Bank, like the Federal Reserve in the US, for one currency. So on such a monetary policy issue, we don't have a specific problem in Europe, because we have one bank, one central bank, to manage the monetary policy. But on the other side, we have now also in the Eurozone 17 different governments in charge of the budgetary policy in the different member states. And so we have put into force, since the beginning, such a stability and growth pact. So some rules explaining that we need to have a balanced budget, if it's possible, in all the member states, but also that we need to sustain growth with some specific investment in different policies like education, research, and so on and so forth. But it's not so evident to manage the budgetary policy in the whole Europe with that. And we try, since some years, and maybe more in the last months and in the last weeks, to reinforce the capacity to go to a real economical government for the whole Europe. So to give more capacity for the European Commission, to the European Commission maybe, to take some measures, and to impose some new budgetary orientations to different member states. Because if you are looking to the situation now, we have some member states with a very huge problem of competitiveness. And that's the difficulty, because before the euro, it was possible to solve that for a part, not to have a global solution for a part, with a devaluation. So with a policy, with the currency in one specific member state. But now, with the euro, we need to find a way to organize a budgetary process, but also to give the capacity to one member state like Greece for the moment to go back to a real growth, economical growth. And that's maybe the real difficulty for the moment.
Are you a mediator in this development? Here you have the Germans on one side and you have the others.
Of course, we are maybe a good mediator between Germany and Netherlands on one side, to be clear, and the countries in the south of Europe. But I want to be clear. The discussions now are just in line with a normal evolution. We need to help some countries with real difficulties. If I may make a comparison, it's like the IMF. When we discuss about Argentina, when we discuss in the past about Turkey, it's not the case for the moment, we had the same discussions. Is it possible to help some countries? So to give to some member states of the European Union, of the Eurozone, the capacity to receive financing with a lower level of cost than on the market. If Greece is going to the market now, it's with maybe an interest rate of 11–12%. If we organize a financing coming from a European fund, a European facility, a European mechanism, so coming from the other member states of the European Union, it's possible to do that maybe with an interest rate of 5, between 5 and 6% as interest rate. But that is the solution asking by the countries with difficulties. But it's not only that. We discuss on that, but we discuss also, like in the IMF, about the conditionality. How it's possible to be sure that we will see in Greece, maybe tomorrow in Portugal, yesterday in Ireland, a new plan to go back to a better situation. And in some countries, it's quite evident to see the way out. You are looking to Ireland, there is a bank problem, there's a real problem in the bank sector, there is also a problem in the real estate, but we have an open economy with a real capacity to go back to growth in Ireland. If you are looking to the south of Europe, in Portugal, maybe in Spain, but certainly in Greece, we need to do more, because we have a higher problem of competitiveness than maybe in Ireland. And so it's quite important, and with the help of the IMF, to discuss about the capacity to finance the situation, the public authorities in Greece or in Portugal, but also to be sure that there is a real capacity in the country to organize another kind of economical policy to go back to a real competitivity and to go back to a real growth and creation of jobs and so on and so forth. And that's the difficulty. And so, to be concrete, we discuss on that, a mechanism at the European level and a conditionality when we are using such a mechanism. Conditionality with a new budgetary plan in a country.
Right.
But we discuss also to have the capacity to reinforce the central authority in Europe, so a real economical governance for the whole, at least Eurozone, and if it's possible, European Union. If we're looking to the US, at the beginning, the Congress had a very low level of capacity to do something in the budget on the economical side. But due to some crisis since 2 centuries in the US, we have seen a reinforcement of the capacity of the Congress, of Washington, to do something. And now it's a very large part of the budget for the whole country decide in the Congress in Washington. In Europe, it's not the case. It's a very small part of the budget was decided by the European institutions. The budget is, in fact, a real competence for the member states.
Do you think that you will have enough funds?
It's not a question to have a...
Enough.
It's not a question to have a precise figure. I'm sure that, like for the IMF, we need to have deep pockets. Deep pockets enough to say to the speculators on the market, it's impossible to speculate against the Eurozone or one country. When you are looking back to the bank crisis, we have put on the table not billions euro or US dollar, but trillions. It was the first time, maybe in the history, that we were using such a word. 3, 5, 10 trillions US dollar or trillions euro. Why? Because if you put such a lot of money as in guarantee of in recapitalization, you prove to the market that it's impossible for the market to fight against that. And my concern now, when we discuss about a new facility or a new mechanism in Europe, is that we need to prove, maybe with a very high level of capacity, of financing capacity, that it's impossible to organize a speculation on what? In the last months, we have said we will intervene in Greece, and then in Ireland, and since some weeks, maybe in Portugal. And what are the discussions on the market? Do you have enough money to do that? And if it's the case for Spain, is it possible to you to do something? And I must say that I fully understand the German position. To do more, we need to be sure that there is a conditionality. So we need to be sure that in Greece, in Portugal, in other countries, we are ready to take the good measures to go back, I said, to a balanced budget and also maybe to a better growth. But we need also to prove to the market that we don't have any hesitation. And I must confess that for Belgium, to give an example, I have asked to the Belgian Parliament to put on the table 15 billions euro for the whole Eurozone. So if we need to intervene, the maximum cost for Belgium in guarantee, for all the Eurozone, it's 15 billions. 2 years ago, for one bank, Dexia, I've signed a guarantee for 90 billions euro. So there is a huge difference. We need to prove to the market that we are ready to intervene, but we need also to receive a clear commitment from all the member states of the Eurozone that they will take the good measures on budgetary side, not only to have consolidation, but also to have a real growth in the next years.